Good evening, everybody. I'm Jonathan Wilner, and welcome to our Facebook Live at 7 o'clock on a Tuesday night. We're going to talk a little bit about Harrington Limousine Service, and then I'd like to introduce you to some fellow networking members from BNI, and we're going to talk to them a little bit about BNI and their process and what they do for a living and how BNI has worked for them. So in the meanwhile, before we start, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Harrington Limousine Service, which is a third-generation owner operated since 1923. We've been around for a long time. So obviously, I think we've gotten it down right. One of the things that we constantly want to make sure that everybody is aware of is that we clean and disinfect our vehicles from the inside out, making sure that we provide you with peace of mind. Peace of mind is one of the key components in allowing you the comfort to use a service like ourselves to go, whether it's to the doctor's office or to the airport or to wherever you need to go. The best part is that we provide service worldwide. So our affiliates around the country and around the world emulate the same cleaning process that we have here, right here in New Jersey. And they educate their chauffeurs in the same manner that we educate ours in the cleaning process in between trips. In addition, that our chauffeurs wear masks and gloves. There's a protective barrier between the chauffeur and the passenger that also provides that level of peace of mind that you have when you need to travel. We're around for a long time, so like I said, we're doing it right. And we're doing it to make you feel comfortable. We'd rather do less trips per day in order to make sure that you're okay in our vehicle. So enough about us. The reason we're here tonight is the key part of why we're here tonight is to talk about BNI, Business Networking International. And I think it's really important that I introduce two key individuals from BNI, from my chapter, the founders, based in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I have Lawrence Centanni of Centanni Law and Amy Krysienski of RSI Bank, located in Woodbridge and Rahway. So let's bring them on and let's give a hearsay from them. Good evening. Oh, look, everybody's here.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, Amy.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me tonight.
Well, thanks for coming on board. I know it was a long commute, and I do appreciate you taking the drive. Oh, we're doing everything virtual, aren't we? And I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and we'll talk about something that's near and dear to both of us, to all of us, which is our networking group, which is BNI. We all belong to the founders chapter that was based in Woodbridge. So what I'd like to do is ask each one of you to tell everybody that's out there tonight watching our live event, what you do a little bit for a living, and then I have a few questions. So Larry, would you start and tell us just a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Jonathan, I have a law practice in Elizabeth. I've been there since 2008, April 2008. It's a handle real estate, landlord-tenant matters, contracts, asset purchases, commercial litigation, and very happy. And 99% of the time, it's a great profession.
Awesome. Thank you. And Amy, what do you do for RSI Bank?
Yeah, Jonathan, I am a senior business development officer with RSI Bank. We are a small community bank based out of Broadway. We have two branches in Broadway, one in Colonia and one in Woodbridge. We are a $500 million bank. We are the oldest savings bank in the state of New Jersey. Jonathan said that Harrington has been around since 1923. RSI was actually chartered in 1851. So we have you beat there. Yeah, so I grow the bank on the commercial side. I always tell people there's three major components to my job: growing business, retaining business, and community development.
Awesome. Now, tell me, how did you guys hear about BNI? Where, Amy, what was your first exposure to BNI? And tell me about that.
Sure. So I think it was a little bit over 4 years ago. I got a call from a fellow banker. It was a woman named Donna. She worked for Columbia Bank. They were also in Woodbridge. and she was approaching the end of her career. She got a call from a girl named Alicia that was chartering our chapter, and Alicia had asked this woman, Donna, if she's interested in joining a BNI group. Donna was going to be retiring in the next several years, so she gave me a call. All of us bankers are friends. She said, I think this networking group that I wasn't familiar with, she said it might be a good opportunity for someone that's new and young in their career. Check it out, take my spot. And I was very grateful for that, not knowing even that the seats are very high demand. So Donna told me to go check out this meeting. It's BNI. There's chapters all over. I went to a meeting, and I'm one of the founding members now, and I've been there for over 4 years.
Wait. So you didn't see any other BNI chapters?
No, I went on, a recommendation from another banker that was, in the end of her career. She said that this would be a good networking group for me. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
What an impact that must have had on you. Larry, tell us your story about how you got to BNI.
Two people cold called me, and they were looking for real estate attorneys for the group. And at the time, I was living 5 minutes away from where they were meeting. And I said, I've been asked several times to go to these networking meetings, and I decided to give it a chance. And I was told by two people, Amy, I think you were one of them, said if you could get on the ground floor as a real estate attorney, it's the golden ticket. 4 years later, I'm here talking to you, so I think that has enough to be said about it.
Great. Now, did you just come to this one meeting and say, okay, well, this is the chapter I want to join, or did you see other chapters?
It was the only chapter that I saw, and it was terrific, and everything about it's terrific.
So there were people there influenced you and said were a big enough impact on you to say, hey, you know what? I need you to you need to be member of this chapter. Is that right?
Yes. So it's the people that were there that were forming the chapter, and it was just one person after the other. It was one of those items that just said, I'm very impressed by this. And I have been to every meeting since 2016. So
that's awesome. Amy, tell me, what have you gotten? I mean, in banking, it's very tough to measure exactly what you receive. What we call the thank you for closed business. What have you gotten back from not only our chapter, from the founders, but from BNI as a whole, for you, your business, you personally? What have you gotten in return from BNI?
I would say that BNI accounts for about 20% of my business. It is hard to log business in terms of thank you for closed business, what we call it in BNI, because when someone opens up an account, it's not what we make. That's not the dollar amount. However, I do receive about 20% of my business from BNI. I'm part of different networking groups. I'm on the board for the Woodbridge Chamber of Commerce. I'm an officer for the Woodbridge Perth Amboy Rotary. I just served 2 years on the Woodbridge Township Planning Board. So I'm on these several different networking groups, but I like that the structure that BNI has. There's no other networking group that you can be a part of that you have to meet every single week, see the same people. And you develop these relationships with these people and friendships, even more so, that you build trust, you develop, credibility, and you have this Rolodex of contacts that I don't think that other networking groups can do for you. It's nice to have a mix of different kind of networking groups, but BNI is very unique in the aspect that you meet every week and there's accountability, there's strict rules, and I do get business from it. And like I said, the 20% of business, it may not come, consistently but you're still making contacts, you're helping other people. So there's so many different benefits to being part of a BNI chapter.
Can you tell me real quick, and I don't want to take up too much time, but tell me something that really was a change, a game changer for you you've been a member for quite some time now. What was one of the things that you feel like, oh my God, this is so cool. This wouldn't have happened without BNI.
Yeah. So I bought
besides meeting me, of course.
Yeah, of course. So about 3 years ago, I purchased my first home. And I use my bank, but I also use Mr. Lawrence Centanni as my real estate attorney. I use this gentleman named Stuart Fuchsman as my home inspector. I use the title agency that we had in our group. If I wasn't part of BNI, I wouldn't have been able to use these contacts for my own personal experience, which made it so easy. It made it seamless. And being able to use these people for my own personal real estate closing, it really gives you that experience and, confidence that you can use these people to refer out to my clients and my peers and my friends. So I thought that was really special. I used, several people in the group for my own real estate closing, and it was a great experience, and it really opened my eyes because this was 3 years ago. This was pretty early on with the chapter, and it opens your eyes of how these people can really help you both personally and professionally.
Well, that's awesome. Larry, please share with us your experiences with BNI. What have you gotten out of BNI?
Beat that, Larry.
Come on, you top that. Come on.
Like a doctor, a lawyer. Yeah, well, a doctor or a lawyer, those types of matters, going to a doctor's like a private thing. When you have, let's call it 12 people in the group. If I told you I did 12 of each of their closings, that means a lot to me that they trust me to do their real estate closing. And that means a lot because they could go to any lawyer that they wanted to, family, friends, whomever, and they come to me. They don't need to come to me. And that says a lot about the group. And that shows you the trust and confidence that they have in me. And I hope to get it right with them. I'm not a guarantor to get it right, but I try to get them on the right path. So that means a lot. And the connections that you make there with everyone, it's just a game changer. So.
Wow, that's pretty interesting that, there's that certain level of confidentiality, things that you're not allowed to share. So I definitely get that. But what can you tell me one of the key components that said, oh my God, I got that because I was in BNI? Like something specific. I mean, once again, besides meeting me and so forth.
Well, Jonathan, that's priceless. That's priceless. So thank you for that. It's the connections with the title companies, with the lenders, the continual business, the people that leave the group that still refer you business. That's incredible. When they leave or when they refer you to someone, that's like a monumental part of this group. It's always nice to get the referrals within the group, but when they refer you out to the other people, I believe that's a great success. So
that's awesome. That is something good to hear. It's something that people can expect. So tell me, Amy, what is expected of you being a member? I mean, is it just, hey, I walk into 7-Eleven to get a gallon of milk, and I walk out and I got my gallon of milk. What's expected of you as a member of not only BNI, but of our chapter? Is that any different so please tell us.
No, I think like what I just mentioned before about, accountability, there's a lot more that comes to being a good member than just showing up to a meeting once a week at 7 a.m. We meet Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 8:30. There is a very itemized and scheduled meeting that we have. However, the things that we do outside of the meeting are what matters most. We have to have what we call one-to-ones with different members where we get to know each other. We find out the needs of the other members, of how we can help them, refer them business, how we can help them. We can also prospect to grow our group. Our group is very exclusive. We choose who we want to be in the group. We pick the professions. We vet the members. We call references. So it is very exclusive. So that's another beauty about being, anyone can join a chamber group, but anyone can't grow, get into our BNI chapter because the professions that are in there are really the ones choosing who else is coming in. So yeah, it's very exclusive. When you're not at a meeting, you have to have one-to-ones. You have to focus on passing referrals. prospecting who you can bring into the group. I would say it's about 4 to 5 hours every single week, in addition to just your hour-and-a-half meeting every Tuesday.
And you benefit from that. So, Larry, can you add to that in any capacity as far as what's expected? I mean, she really hit some of the key components, but I know that you being on the membership as well, that you maybe have some slightly different insight on some of the obligations as being a member.
I want to say, I hate to use this term, but I will. It's the velvet rope mentality. It's you need to come into this group. You can't be the 90 minutes you show up and leave and say, oh, I'll be there next week. Oh, and I expect that referral. It's you need to follow up. You need to do your one-to-ones. You need to give those quality referrals. You can't be, how should I say, just giving names out, contact this person, contact that person. They have to be quality over quantity. Number two, the one-to-ones is the get-togethers, the coffees, the lunches. I know COVID has restricted that tremendously, the Zoom calls, to have that confidence builder with the people that you were referring to. Because if you don't have confidence in that person, you're not going to refer to that person. So that goes back to what I originally said, that velvet rope mentality. And we don't accept everyone that puts an application in. And a lot of people get annoyed. But that is what we are about.
We like that. We like being able to choose and make sure that they're really going to be a real quality member, because we want to make sure that we want to get to know people that they'll benefit from knowing us, and then we'll benefit from knowing them. I mean, obviously, dollars will grow exponentially with each new member that we have, and which is great. So now we're talking about members. Who should we invite as visitors? I mean, Amy, you had indicated before that there was particular professions that we would invite. For you, if we could be selfish for a moment, who are the people that we should invite for you? There's a lot of people listening right now, and if we could say, hey, you're that person, come on down. We want to see you Tuesday at 7:00, right? Isn't that pretty much it? I mean, come on. There's people out there, right? So who is it that, if you could put a couple names together or a couple professions?
Yeah, so me being a banker, the financial services industry, I would like to see our group grow with a commercial realtor, a commercial real estate investor. We do have a lot of.
Is she just picking off my names? Like these are people that I want.
She's going to go first at all the questions. But I do want to add, we are dominated by professional services. We could grow in the area of trade services. If Larry, you want to touch a little bit more on that?
I'm going to touch on that. May I, if you don't mind?
Everybody's
trades. Let me tell you, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, the trades are the most difficult, and we all know why. They're always at Home Depot at 6:00 in the morning, so it's tough for them to get in front of a Zoom call. But go ahead, Larry.
And I'm just going to make a direct, just to people that are listening. Our meetings are 7 in the morning on Tuesdays, and it takes that special person to show up at 7:00 to network. And it takes a special person to meet these people, to connect with these people, and to give referrals. So anyone that's out there, come to the meeting, 7 in the morning. We'll provide you the Zoom link. It's bnifounders.com, right, Jonathan?
Right, that's correct.
So come, show up, see if you like it. I love it. Number 2, what I'm looking for, Amy hit on it. Commercial realtors is number 1. Number 2, I would go for, the trades, the plumbers, the electricians, the contractors, the general contractors, the builders that are out there. Those are people that we want. The printers, the people that do the advertisements. I would even go one step further. How about the florists? Dry cleaners, caterers. This is not inclusive, or it doesn't limit the people that can be here. Any profession that you're in, come to the meeting. It's worth a shot. I mean, you could get a referral, 1 or 2 referrals. But that's, so to answer your question, that's who I'm looking for.
Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. A couple of people that I'd like to see. I'm definitely looking for a photographer, somebody who does events of any magnitude. I know that we're very limited, as we indicated before, due to COVID. Weddings, the big weddings that we used to see in the last year or so, they don't exist anymore. But the photographers are still doing those private weddings and so forth, where there's only a few family members around and so forth. And they still may have some kind of church service or service of one location going to another, or even, if they're jumping on a plane for a honeymoon. Well, these are the photographers that have that intimate connection with the bride and groom and the families, where they could be an amazing resource for me. And on the flip side, I could be an amazing resource for them, as introducing them. Maybe sometimes they'll come to us first for a limousine before they look for the other professionals that they're looking for their event. So that would be an amazing connection for me. Good photographers that does events is one of the things that I definitely like to connect with. So if there's a photographer out there, hold on, wait, I can't see. Anybody see that photographer? Wait, oh, geez. Well, I don't see him. Maybe, can you raise your hand out there? No, nobody.
Jonathan, I know we spoke off camera about this, but if we brought in a photographer and there's people in there in our group, there's people that need to have their headshots done, and it would be easy to join the group and to get these referrals. So I believe that's, a photographer would be great for you, but also great for the group.
I have to agree. I think there's some comments in our feed here, and I just want to touch on them real quick. Let's see if somebody can help me out here. So Eddie said that BNI is responsible for 25% of his business. And it's really not a joke. It pays for itself literally 100 times over for him. Most grateful for the professional relationships that he's gotten. And the relationships that developed over a period of time. Let's see. Steve Youngman writes, Larry hit it on the head. It's the referrals we receive from the trust in the group, and then the group's knowing outsiders that know what services we can provide. Eddie'd like to see a commercial real estate agent, HVAC, going down the list, a plumber, general contractor, dentist, chiropractor, photographer, caterer, event planner, business attorney, criminal attorney, business injury attorney. Come on. He's hitting all the nails on the head. Let's see. And special events photographer for myself, of course. Is there anything that I did not touch on for this evening? I really want to be able to invite people, so we did that. How easy is it to come and visit? Real easy, right? You had said it before, Larry. Come to our website.
It's bnifounders.com, and you can click on the link. I would do it 6:45, a little before 7. We meet every Tuesday, and it is, I can't speak enough about the group, how great it is. And I wouldn't be in the group if it wasn't. And it's just one of those things where if you have your own business, if you work on commission, if you rely on, if you bring in referrals and you get a percentage of it, this is the group for you. And you're not only looking to connect with the people in this group, but you're also looking to connect with their network, with their friends, with their families, because that's where the connections are made. And at the end of the day, you have the referrals, which are great, and again, with the connections, but you're looking at the money long term. and you're seeing, and it will come in. It will come in. You just have to be a little bit patient with it.
Excellent. One more thing, Amy, tell us how easy is it to join BNI, to join become a member, because you used to read that verbatim statement for a whole year and so forth. So tell me, how easy is it? Easy as 1, 2, 3?
It is
And we're
easy.
not going to put you on the spot, Amy, as to reading it. Yeah.
I don't have the whole statement right now. And don't ask me the fees right now either. But yeah, it's very easy. Our membership committee at the end of the meeting separates into a different group, a different chat room with the visitors coming to the meeting. They give you information on membership. They'll answer any questions. You could visit twice before you make a decision if you want to join the group. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's two visits per chapter. And you're not only limited to our chapter either. There's chapters all over the world. So the BNI Founders, we are the best chapter though. So come check us out. And like Larry said, if I didn't love it, I wouldn't still be part of it after 4 years. So it's very easy to join, and every group has a membership committee, and they're open and willing to answer any questions that visitors may have.
Well, that's awesome. A lot of great information. Do we have your contact information in the event they want to get in touch with you?
Jonathan, I got to ask you a question. Why did you join?
Why did I join? You know what? I joined in 2007, and I did one of those things. I joined a chapter in nearby because somebody said, "Oh, why don't you come and visit our networking group?" It was in person, obviously, back then. And I just showed up. I was a 90-minute member. I just showed up, and I saw after a year that nothing happened. Nothing happened. I got no referrals. I made no money, and I said, "Why am I going to this?" So I decided not to renew. And no one even asked me if I wanted to renew. I just said I had enough. And then a few years later, I was asked by an associate in our industry, "Hey, why don't you come to this networking event, this networking meeting? And I think that it would be beneficial for you." And I joined. I came. I saw. I really liked the people. And the funny thing happened, after 6 months, I was asked to be president of that chapter. And while I was president of that chapter, I was asked if I wanted to be a BNI director. Apparently somebody saw something in me. And had I known then, I would never have taken that president position so quickly. But anyway, I took that. I became a director, and it's been ever since. I like the relationships. I think I like the relationships the most. The people that I've met and gotten to know and work with. I mean, there's so many people that I've gotten to work with over the years. I like those relationships. I think I do it more for that than the money that I make. Now, in my lifetime, I checked the other day, it was over $150,000 that I've had thank you for closed business. So in my lifetime with BNI, which I think paid for every year membership and then some tenfold. And I like it. And I like the relationships. I like that most of the people that I've met so far through BNI. So that's why I joined. And the reason that I joined this chapter is because of the people that I met. I just really thought they were really warm, inviting, and they really were concerned about my well-being first. I guess it's that giver's gain mentality. It was kind of really sunk in. So it's because of you and Amy and a few other people that were in the chapter at the time that really enticed me to join this chapter. As a limousine operator, I have my pick and choose of whatever chapter I'd like to go to. This one was the nicest one that I joined and that I visited. And that's why I'm here.
And just to talk about the group itself, the individuals within the group, from top to bottom, you, Amy, Ed, Steve, Al, Bill, the list goes on. And it's just one of those groups where it's just a nice bunch of people, and it's not pretentious. It's just nice, and it's welcoming. And that's one of the great things about this group. So
Yeah, I think it's definitely the people that made me pick this particular group. And as we're coming to the end of our 30 minutes here, I just want to say if you're looking to connect with Amy Krysienski from the RSI Bank, she's located somewhere. Where are you, mostly in Woodbridge or Rahway or Colonia? Where can people find you?
My office is in Woodbridge at 408 Rahway Avenue, right next to City Hall, but I cover Union and Middlesex counties. I'm on the road most of the time. So, yeah, you can find me in my Woodbridge office or on the road traveling all throughout New Jersey.
And Larry, let's see, there's Amy's information there if you want to reach out to her. That was her email address and phone number. But then again, you can also find her on this. You can message her through Facebook and so forth. Larry, what's a good way to get in touch with you? Phone, email, or just knock on your door at your office?
you could always knock on my door. Telephone 908-351-0028, or it's LMC. It's my last name law.com, centannilaw.com.
Excellent. And I'm Jonathan Wilner from Harrington Limo, and you can reach me at jwilner@harringtonlimo.com. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, where I provide you peace of mind anywhere, anytime. And Amy, Larry, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And I'm sure all the people out there have just learned a ton more about you guys and BNI as a whole. And I'm sure we'll see a few inquiries before next Tuesday.
Jonathan, always a pleasure. Amy, thank you.
This was
Thanks.
fun. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you.